Hello, Internet, and thank you for joining me today. So, when I jumped for that big 3-point shot and the testicles that were my knees exploded after I sank the bucket, I thought nothing else would ever be that painful in my life. However, Steamboat Willie went into the public domain, and then a bunch of assholes jumped on the idea of making your childhood into a low-budget horror movie. So now I know a new form of suffering. Okay, so I've been trying to do this 2 videos a week thing throughout October, and it's been a trip. I wanted to do every Monday and Friday, but this Monday did not happen because life happened instead. So we're doing a Bad Movie Monday on a what looks like Wednesday here. Regardless of what day I end up dropping this, I'm doing this on public domain horror movies because with the advent of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, Bambi, The Reckoning, and now Steamboat Willie throwing his hat into the ring, there's getting to be quite a few of these things. So today I have Screamboat and Mouse of Horror that are gonna fuck up my whole afternoon. Spoiler alerts. Nothing matters, and existence is hopeless. I'm going to be honest here that after I've watched these movies, I was so despondent, I felt like I needed to class it up a bit. So I went ahead and binged Call Girl of Cthulhu. And after watching such a seminal piece of Western influence, I knew that I needed to class things up. So I present to you the classiest summary that ChatGPT and myself could come up with. Verily, to endure this wretched film was to suffer 1,000 daggers to mine heart, each scene a fresh betrayal of art and decency. The hours did stretch like a cursed eternity, as if time itself refused to move while these abominable tales did unfold. By final breath, I was but a hollow husk, robbed of mirth and left to wander the ruins of my sanity in search of some dopamine hit, like Poe searched for his Annabelle Lee. Any hooters? Screamboat and Mouse of Horror, 2 movies that prove you don't need talent, a budget, or functioning brain cells to make cinema. All you really need is a boat, a mouse, and a production team who come together and collectively say, it's good enough, I guess.
I know, title of my sex tape.
Alright, well, Screamboat opens with some bitch running through the streets trying to catch a ferry and escape from some bachelorette party that decided that they were all best friends. And apparently our main character, some bitch, is really opposed to having these people as friends. And the bachelorette party characters are probably the most interesting in the movie. You see, they're all dressed like off-brand Disney princesses. Like, the main girl rocks a blue dress like Cinderella if she lived in a trailer park. There's a girl that's so dumb that she could be legally classified as furniture who's dressed in a yellow dress like Belle. And then there's an Indian girl who's dressed like Jasmine, who shockingly avoids being a walking, talking stereotype. So thumbs up, B-horror movie director. You did a good job on not being a racist. Take notes, actual Disney. Anyway, these and a bunch of other cardboard characters get on the boat so that we can get a slasher movie going. Or at least they try to. All of these characters are so flat that they make Bella Ramsey's forehead seem shapely. And the dialogue is delivered with the enthusiasm of a hostage video. And the pacing, oh my god, the pacing feels like somebody edited the film with their eyes closed. All of these events just kind of happen without any sense or rhyme or reason. And predictably, all of these characters just die off one by one because that's all the film knows how to do. But that means that the mouse can show up. The filmmakers knew the only reason that we were all here was because of the mouse, so they made sure that he was in a ton of this thing, which is the only entertainment you really get out of this thing. The costume is a masterpiece of failure. Like, imagine a dude in a poorly refurbished Chuck E. Cheese costume getting rejected from a furry convention because he looks too smelly. It's an accomplishment almost worth praise. But they try to give him some character by giving him a motivation, which seems to go back and forth between wanting to bang the copyright-free version of Minnie and thinking he's gonna bang one of the human women. And that's just absurd enough to get me to giggle once or twice. That, along with a pretty decent animated section in the middle, made me almost think that this was watchable. Unfortunately, the rest of the runtime is really just a wasteland of bad effects, awkward pacing, and scenes where the mouse and the green screen shittiness vanish, leaving us with nothing but human characters just giving up on acting. At least in something like Call Girl of Cthulhu, you get some tits and the absurd concept of watching a movie as absurd as Call Girl of Cthulhu. In summation, Steamboat just gives us a headache and a vague sense of betrayal. Next movie.
Who said that? Which one of y'all dead motherfuckers just said that shit?
We have a serious downgrade when we go from Steamboat to Mouse of Horror. Nothing says true terror like a guy in a mouse costume that looks like he just stumbled out of a crack house at 3 a.m. Seriously, look at this fucking thing. Like, really just drink it in. Alright, that's enough. I couldn't grab any trailer footage of this one, so the visuals are just going to be more anime clips playing in the background while my dulcet tones soothe your ears. But rest assured, that still that I showed you of the mouse in this movie is just like the rest of this movie. Visually speaking, we have taken a steep dive from our previous entry, and somehow the acting went with it too. The stale characters from Steamboat honestly could have been used better in this movie, because this movie just has no characters, with the exception of 3. You see, when I first opened up Mouse of Horror, I was not expecting to see an extended universe of these public domain characters. So when the shitty version of Winnie the Pooh jumped out at me, I was taken aback. Alright, I gotta do a brief plot synopsis on this because it's seriously like an Avengers-style team-up movie. Okay, so most of the human characters are irrelevant nonsense. Like, there's a girl that's leaving town, and that serves as a inciting incident, I guess, because it really just draws all of these cardboard cutout characters into, like, this fairground carnival thing. And that's where the real plot kicks in, because you see, the real plot is that Mickey Mouse and Winnie the Pooh are Frankenstein monsters to Chris Lines. And I have to take a quick aside here and explain that Chris Lines is to B horror what the polio vaccine is to late 1900s America. He inoculates us from the outside shittiness. Seriously, man, this guy is in this thing and King Lear. I wish I was random enough to make that shit up. Anyway, the Timu horror gang here are all creations of Chris Line, I guess. It's all very confusing and it doesn't make sense and it's not important. The important thing is, this is a slasher movie because they're trying to make brides, like Bride of Frankenstein, but for Steamboat Willie and Winnie the Pooh, and presumably Chris Lines, ? But yeah, that's why they're all doing a slasher movie, because they all want different body parts to cobble together women so that they can bring that thing to life and then marry them and presumably fuck them. Like, this is just fucking wild. Like, I'm going off script. I have not scripted any of this because it defies all logic. All right. And I'm not editing this because it's too wild, man. Every time I talk about one aspect of the movie, it just completely derails another aspect, and I would have to explain way too fucking much. So we're just going to roll with it. With a premise like this, though, you'd think that it's just slasher movie all the time and it's just nothing but kill scenes. But no, they actually stuff a bunch of boring stuff in the middle of this. And I swear that about 15 minutes of this 90-minute movie is the guy in the mouse costume just dancing around and trying to act creepy to the audience. Not to a character in the movie, to the audience, because they're just dancing in front of the camera. And towards the end, we actually get this kind of sort of interesting Freddy versus Jason style fight between Winnie the Pooh and Mitchell the Rat. And it's actually almost interesting. Like, they actually push that premise kind of far with it. But ultimately, the budget and the shitty acting make it so that this is not as entertaining as it could have been. In conclusion, I would not recommend this movie to anyone with a blood alcohol content that would allow them to drive. However, I do think that this is a so bad it's good movie. It's kind of got some funny elements in it, and Chris Line is just such a treat that I actually found myself enjoying this more than Steamboat. I plan on inflicting this movie on somebody at some point in the not too distant future so that I can record their genuine reaction and see how it goes on a commentary. So, what did I get out of all of this? Well, not a whole lot except for some content to shovel out onto YouTube's algorithm. I really do enjoy these shittier movies though, and I hope to do more in the future, and maybe I can organize this a little bit better because as I'm going through the editing process here, I'm not really enjoying this video as much as I thought I would. But I'm still in an experimental phase of this channel, so if you like this video, please show me by leaving a like, and if you like anything that I did here, please go ahead and subscribe. I'm trying to monetize the channel, and it would help me out a whole lot if you did that, but until next time, sayonara, bitches.